Good afternoon. So today's lesson is on Pirkey Avot, part 2. B'Shem Hashem Naaseh V'Natzliach. So this shiur is for refuah shlema for Hatinok ben Natalie Hadassah, Avram ben Chana, Zechariah Dov ben Pearl Shira, Shimon Daniel ben Michal, Ora bat Dalia, Atinoket Ahuva bat Tova. And לעילוי נשמת כל הנשמות שזקוקות לזכות ורחל בת יעקב. האחים פרמן, ושתהיה עלייה לנשמתם. For singles, that Hashem should bring them closer to their zivug, the true zivug, שיזכו לבנות בית נאמן בישראל, and for our soldiers to come back home safe, and for all Jews, for the safety of all Jews wherever they are. Thank you to my listeners and supporters, and those who subscribe and share the videos. Hashem blesses you with many blessings for all your efforts. Thank you, Hashem, for all your chasadim that you have done with us in the past, and the ones, Be'ezrat Hashem, you will continue, Be'ezratcha, you will continue to do so. So today's lesson, today's shiur, is on the learning, on the shoresh of the mitzvah not to embarrass a fellow Jew. As we know, hatred can come from someone who was embarrassed. As we just saw in the story of the Churban Bet HaMikdash, destruction of Bet HaMikdash, story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa, and how because Bar Kamsa was so embarrassed that he's the one who became a traitor, and because of it the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed. So Chachamim, in their own words, they say, Amalbin Penei Chavero Barabim, one who makes his fellow's face turn white. Malbin comes from the word lavan, in public. All right, we learn from this pasuk. Where do we learn this? That someone who makes his friend's face white, turn white. Where from the pasuk of Hochiach tochiach et amitecha velo tisa alav het. It means rebuke your fellow man, and this way you will not bear a sin. You will not have a sin. So from this pasuk we learn the obligation, the mitzvah, to rebuke someone, even if it takes 4 or 5 times, or however many times it is necessary to do it. However, Hamalbin Penei Chavero Barabim, we have to be careful how we do it without causing him an embarrassment, because humiliation is the source of great emotional suffering to people. To be humiliated, it really takes away a person's dignity. It makes a person feel like nothing at all. Garbage. So Gemara says, if it's done in public, when we say public, it means as long as there's one more person. If I'm talking to someone else and I'm telling the person that he did wrong, and there's another person who's standing right there and is listening, that's already called public. It doesn't have to be 1,000 of people. All right? So it's done in public. It is as if he spilled his blood, as if he killed him. So Hashem forbids us. Hashem tells us you are not allowed to humiliate others and to cause others suffering and pain. So therefore, rebuke has got to be done in private. This way, the chote, the sinner, will not be so embarrassed. He will feel some embarrassment because he's being told that he's wrong, that he's done wrong, right? But it will be, and even then, we learned it from Moshe how he was so careful to rebuke Ben Israel. He was just only hinting. He was only telling them, and we were in this place. Oh, in this place? So Ben Israel knew already what happened in that place. That's all Moshe said. He didn't say more than that. Okay? So regarding this matter, Chachamim have taught us that included in this mitzvah, not to embarrass anyone, is that it is better for a person to cast himself in a furnace, to throw himself in a furnace, rather than humiliate his fellow in public. Now, what does this mean really? But humiliating someone in public is not part of the 3 mitzvot that we learned, right? We learned avodah zarah, marrying someone that the Torah forbids us, or killing someone. It is better for us to get killed and not break these 3 mitzvot. So this is not so like what? It's better for me to get killed and not embarrass someone? Not at all. It's not what really it's talking about. But it's rather, one must do everything possible not to embarrass someone else. I have to try everything possible. Why? And what is this coming to teach us? This is really coming to teach us how serious it is. How serious it is to cause someone else pain and suffering. Chachamim teach us that taking away a man's dignity, embarrassing him, is so essential to his well-being that taking it away from him is comparable to taking his life. Again, I repeat, Chachamim tell us that when we embarrass someone, we're taking away his dignity. The dignity of a person is all that a person has. His own dignity, his kavod. And it's so important for that person, for any human being, to have dignity, that if we take it away from him, it is equal as if we had killed that person. And why? Why is that so? Chachamim explain. Because human beings have a tselem Elokim. What is a tselem Elokim? When Hashem created us, Hashem gave us the ability to understand, to think, to plan, to learn. Hashem did not give that to the animals, the birds, the fish. Hashem gave them instincts, which is not to be confused with intelligence, with sechel. Hashem gave us sechel Eloki. Each person has a little bit of Hashem in him, the neshama, and that sechel Eloki, that ability to understand and to think. That is given by Hashem. So the Maharal explains, human beings have a tselem Elokim that makes us superior to all other creatures, to animals, to birds, to fish. This superiority is man's sense of dignity and his needs for respect. We have to, as a human being, we feel like a human being when we know we are respected. And when a person is not respected, he's degraded. We are taking away his tselem Elokim. One who humiliates another removes and takes away from him his sense of dignity and causes him to lose focus of his superiority that he possesses as one who is created in the image of Hashem, B'Tselem Elokim. I repeat again. So when we humiliate a person, we take away from him his focus, his feeling, I am a human being. And he feels nothing, really nothing. That superiority that was given to him has been taken away from him. And this is exactly what the Nazis were doing. They put numbers on people. People had to respond by numbers because the numbers were called, not their name. When we call a person by his name, we're giving him the kavod, the dignity that he deserves. When we take away, we strip them of their dignity. So that was for embarrassing someone in public. Now we move on to lotikom velotitor. Do not take revenge and do not hold a grudge. So for now, we're going to explain lotikom. Do not take revenge. In a situation when one Jew was wronged or caused pain to his fellow Jew, the majority of people will do anything and everything to cause pain back. He hurt me, so I'm going to hurt him back. That's what we normally, most of us are going to behave and try and do, to hurt that person back, because that hurt is a hurt. And we think that we're going to feel better by hurting that person back. That kind of behavior, Hashem says, is absolutely not acceptable. Any kind of revenge is wrong, no matter how small or big it is. So how do we deal with this? All of us have been wronged at one point in our life, and more than once, many of us. And yet, so what do we do? So the Sefer Chinuch says, one must internalize, make it part of his conscience, of his nature, the idea that ki kol asher yikra'u mitov ad ra shetavo alav me'et Hashem baruch hu. A person has to internalize, make this part of his conscience and part of his nature, that whatever happens to a person, good or bad, that's going to happen to that person, to a person, it all comes from Hashem. Hashem has planned it, and Hashem has brought it on him. Nothing can or will happen unless Hashem wills it, unless Hashem wants it to. Therefore, if someone, chas v'shalom, causes pain or suffering to another person, one must realize that his own sins were the cause and Hashem decreed on him. Again, whatever happens to a person, good or bad, it's because Hashem wants it to happen. And it's our own sins that have caused this to happen to us. Hashem chose the person to cause the pain. Accordingly, one must not focus his thoughts to revenge. So why am I taking revenge if I know that it's all from Hashem? Hashem wanted this to happen, right? So we learn from David HaMelech. David HaMelech had a son, Avshalom, by the name of Avshalom. Avshalom was very tall, very, very handsome. He was very charismatic. He was really a person that you couldn't just pass by and not notice him. So this Avshalom, unfortunately, he was upset with David, but he was also used by people to turn against his own father. And so he prepared a rebellion against David. And there are people who actually went with Absalom. David had to run away. David said, I'm not staying. He's my own son. I don't want to fight him. And David decided to leave Yerushalayim and run away. David had very strong, very loyal supporters. He had about 600 of them, and they were very fierce soldiers. Wherever David went, whether he was running away from Shaul or running away from Absalom or anybody else, these supporters were always with David. And David had to run out very quickly from Yerushalayim with his supporters. On the way, they had to cross the Yarden, so not far from the Yarden. A man by the name of Shimei ben Gera came out, and he took rocks and he started to throw them at David, and he insulted David, one curse after another, one insult after another, terrible words. Avishai, who was the nephew of David, said to David, we can't allow this man to go on saying what he is saying. Allow me to kill him. And David says, Hanichu lo, leave him alone. V'kalel Hashem amar lo. He is cursing because Hashem told him. Means Hashem put it in his mind to curse me. It's all from Hashem, good or bad. It's Hashem that wants me to have this punishment. Chacham also teach us that this serves to put a stop. This not being able to take revenge. It helps us to put a stop and wipe away any bad feelings or resentment, anger from people's heart. If there is peace among people, Hashem will make peace for them. Hashem will bless them with shalom. If there is no peace, people don't get along, and they're constantly talking lashon hara and cursing and this and this and that, embarrassing. I even heard a rabbi who said that the tefillah of these people who just keep that argument and that fight and that quarrel going on, and they don't make peace, their tefillot are not accepted. Now we come to lo titor. Do not hold a grudge. We're not allowed to have a feeling of resentment against another one who wronged us, even if we don't intend to cause him any pain or suffering. The pain that was caused to us has to be completely erased and forgotten from our heart and our thought. And this is, the Gemara says, midat hasidut, to be humble and forgiving, because it comes to humbleness, to be humble. Someone who doesn't want to forgive, it's because his ego is there. His ego tells him, no, how can you? How can you forget that? But you have to be humble and forgiving. The Gemara praises someone who has been disgraced and did not answer back. In fact, if you are ever in a situation like this, you see two people having an argument and one does not answer back, run as fast as you can to that person and ask from that person a blessing. Because whatever blessing that person is going to give, it will happen. Hashem turns to these people and Hashem help them. There are many stories. And then there's one and I know of that of a chazan who was put to shame in the shul and even again outside of the shul because a gabbai, not a chazan, I'm sorry, a gabbai, because he did not call someone to the Torah, and his friend told him, don't answer. Please don't answer. Please don't answer. The person controlled himself. He didn't say a word. And someone else who was there ran to him and said, please bless me. I don't have children. He had been married for more than 20 years. He never had any children. Please bless me to have a child. Once he calmed down, he blessed him. Yeah, a few months later, his wife had a child. So, and if one feels that I have to answer, I cannot let it go, I cannot let it pass, then in that case, if one must answer, then it has to be done with dignity and grace, not losing one's temper, because that would only make matter worse. And after that, once a person has answered with dignity and with grace, without losing his temper, then all those feelings must be erased from his heart and mind. May Hashem help us to overcome our Yetzer Hara and never embarrass someone in public, and always be in control of our speech and thoughts. Come on.